today we've got to go on with this final part of the digestive system. Remember that yesterday we started with illness that affect this digestive system. We're going to see a little bit on healthy habits, and we'll do the final review, so we might have time to start with the other system that that we've got to include in the following exam, which is the respiratory system. The second one, the respiratory system, will take us just 3, maybe 4 days, so we can have the exam the first week of February. But we'll talk about that on Monday, that we'll have the class, that we'll have class, okay? Do you have any exam, those in group 1, do you have any exam on Tuesday the 2nd? Those in group 1?
We've got maths.
You've got maths, Tuesday the 2nd. So that means that will be, well, if you don't want to have it with math, it will need to be Wednesday the 10th. Lo tendríamos que dejar hasta entonces. Wednesday the 10th for those in group 1. Es que me queda así un poco mala fecha. Bueno, we'll see it in class. But think that you'll probably have the exam this first week of February, maybe second week, but not farther than that, not more than that, not later than that. Okay, activities that you had to do for today were those in... Okay.
Sara.
Dime.
El grupo 2, ¿cuándo has dicho el examen?
No lo he dicho porque el grupo 1 es el que me genera más problema. El grupo 2 could either be Wednesday the 3rd or Friday the 5th. El 3 o el 5.
El 3 tenemos el examen de mates nosotros.
Claro, intuyo que el 3 sería el de mates, que me ha cogido Roberto esos 2 días fantásticos que tenía yo puestos para vuestro examen, con lo cual podríamos hacerlo el 5 y el 10. ¿El 5 no tenéis nada, los del grupo 2?
No, el 5 no.
Bueno, pues el vuestro sí que lo fijo ese día, ¿vale? El viernes 5. Y para los del grupo 1 tendría que ser, aunque se nos quede muy tarde, este día, pero el día 10. Pero lo dejo abierto porque quizás para cuando volváis os pongan muchos más exámenes y de repente decidáis que preferís hacer coincidir mi examen con el de matemáticas mejor que con algo así como historia o literatura o alguna cosa así, ¿vale? Entonces, de momento dejo 5 y 10, pero cuando volvamos, según la información que os vayan dando otros profesores de otros exámenes que tenéis, se pueden mover en esas 2 semanas, entre la primera y la segunda semana de febrero, en los días que nos vayan cuadrando, ¿vale? Que entiendo que con tanta optatividad entre los grupos bilingües y no bilingües que se mezclan y tal, bueno, ya lo discutiremos a la vuelta, que estaréis todos presentes y lo haremos más fácil. Bueno, activities that you had to do for today related to this illness, you had to do, was it 31 and 32 your homework, or maybe more than that?
26, 27, 31.
26, 27 and 31, vale. Bueno, 26, okay, 26, 27, that was the questionnaire as well, was included in the questionnaire as well, and then 31, okay. I'm not sure whether you've done the questionnaire or not, because honestly, I didn't review that. Dime.
But Sarah, where is the questionnaire?
Eso es, voy a verlo porque a lo mejor es que no. In this unit, Unit 4, Digestive and Respiratory System, in the contents, you've got the PowerPoint presentation and all the videos that I launched from all the classes that we had. But if you go to Actividades, you've got the photocopy on the activities that we are doing these days, and you also have this questionnaire that is part of the digestive system. Well, if you haven't done it, I've got here just 2 people that tried it, so obviously you haven't done it. This questionnaire consists on only 3 questions, is 3 very simple questions, and if you see it, is in which part of the digestive system is most of the digestive food absorbed by blood? Well, going back to the photocopy, that is this question. Okay, exactly. If you go to the following one, do waste and dissolved material pass out of the body? That's what you have here. And if you go to the next one, does protein digestion first occur? Is this one. So as long as you've got activity number 27 in your photocopy, if you've done it in your photocopy, this questionnaire is going to be very easy for you. The only thing that you've got to do is choose the right answer, okay? And you've got the same for next question, that is the following sections, and the last one that is related to another question. So as long as you've got all these sections in activity number 27, you're going to get a 10 in the questionnaire. But I prefer that you do the questionnaire in order for you to make sure that you've got it right, and especially because I want to check that you are doing all your homework, because this virtual class makes it difficult for me to know who is doing its job and who isn't. So this is just one way that I have to make sure that at least you are doing something. So this question number 27, we're not going to correct it. Everybody will go to this part of the unit that is in Unit 4, in the section that is Actividades. You go there and you've got the questionnaire. Everybody's going to do it as a homework, and that will be the way that we're going to correct it, because as long as you've got a 10, that means that you've got all the questions, all the answers right. So we are going to correct number 26 and also number 31, which was the other activities that you had to do for homework, okay? So number 26, that is a very easy one. We mentioned that yesterday. Let's see if Alicia has done it. Alicia, have you done activity number 26? Or at least, do you know the answer for this question? Why is cellulose present in feces? You don't have it, Alicia. ¿Sabes la de veces que sales in the chat saying I haven't done this homework? En fin, y tengo evidencias que se queda esto grabado todo el rato. Bueno, you don't have it, but why do you think that this molecule of cellulose, that is a polysaccharide, is present in feces? I'm not going to have starch, that is another polysaccharide, in feces, but I'm going to have cellulose. Why is cellulose, this complex molecule, present in feces, while other complex biomolecules are not present in feces? Any idea, Alicia? Why do I find this complex biomolecule, cellulose, if the rest of the molecules have been digested, have turned into something simple? Well, it's obviously because those structures that make complex biomolecules, transform them into simple biomolecules, are not working in the case of cellulose. Maria, what is the name of these structures that help me transforming complex molecules into simple molecules. Maria, do you know it? The name of these molecules that help me?
Enzymes.
Enzymes. So, do I have enzymes in my intestine? Yes, thanks to the liquids in the pancreas, the liquids in the intestine, and I also have enzymes acting in the stomach or in the mouth, but none of those enzymes will cut cellulose because we don't have the enzymes that digest cellulose. That would be the answer for this question. Why is cellulose present in feces? The answer is because we don't have enzymes that digest cellulose. Only herbivore animals have it. So if we eat cellulose, we are not going to transform this cellulose into monosaccharides. So we are not going to absorb anything from this cellulose. It's not going to give me energy. It's not going to help me growing. Why is cellulose important in my diet? Just because it works as fiber, helping peristaltic movements. In the case of herbivore animals, they do have enzymes that digest this cellulose, and therefore they can grow thanks to this cellulose. That's the reason why cows eating only grass, they can get so big. Imagine that you had this diet, eating grass all day long. Would you be as fat as a cow? Obviously not, because this grass contains cellulose and you cannot take any benefit, any profit, or any monosaccharide from this cellulose. You are going to take other things from this grass, lettuce, or any other vegetable that you eat. You're going to get the vitamins from it. So it doesn't mean that food containing cellulose is not important for you. You can get the benefit of the rest of the components. You can digest the lipids, proteins, or vitamins that they contain, but you're not going to digest the cellulose included in this food because you don't have the enzymes that digest them, okay? And the last one, activity number 31, was just giving some names of illness that are related to infections in the digestive system. So I guess I will have someone, for example, Elmer. Do you know the name of any illness that is related to an infection and affects any organ in the digestive system? Examples of illness that affect the digestive system and are related to infections.
Appendicitis.
Appendicitis, it's an infection in the appendix. We also have infections in the esophagus, esophagitis. We've got infections in the stomach. Elmer, what's the name of the infection in the stomach? Iván casi se lanza. Elmer, infection in the stomach.
Flu, ¿no?
No. If it's an infection, it ends up with itis, but we don't say stomachitis. What do we say? What's the term?
Gastroenteritis.
Gastritis, if it's only the stomach. Gastroenteritis, if it's referring to the stomach and the beginning of the intestine. Okay, gastritis, if it's only the stomach. Gastroenteritis, if it's the stomach and the first part of the small intestine. And we've got another difficult term for the infection of the liver. Anyone that knows the
Hepatitis.
hepatitis? That's the term that refers to the infection of the liver. Okay, so in this activity number 31, you can name esophagitis, gastritis, gingivitis for the infection in the enzymes, gastroenteritis. You can also name, we mentioned hepatitis, appendicitis. So we've got many infections related, affecting the digestive system. Well, we've got this question number 32 here that apparently was not part of your homework, but we're going to talk about it. Gallstones. Any idea on what these gallstones could be? What is the organ that they are affecting and in which way? Sophia, the gallstones are affecting one organ in the digestive system. What could be the organ affected by these gallstones? Sophia?
I don't know.
You don't know? Don't you know any organ in the digestive system that starts with this name, gall? If you go to page number 39 in your book, you've got one organ there that starts with gall. That is the Don't you have your book with you? Well, any other volunteer that finds this page number 39 and the name of the organ that is affected by gallstones?
Gallbladder.
The gallbladder, okay. The gallbladder, that is the organ that stores biles coming from the liver, in Spanish, vesícula biliar, ¿vale? This gallbladder stores biles. Bile contains salts that are dissolved in a liquid. But if by any reason this liquid is not abundant enough, or maybe the shape of your gallbladder makes this bile be retained for a long time, those salts that form part of the liquid in the bile, in the same way as if you stop removing salts dissolved in water, they could precipitate. In the same way, this bile, if it is stored for a long time in your gallbladder, or maybe it doesn't contain enough water, is very dense, it could form these stones. They are known as gallstones in order to differentiate them from the kidney stones. Gallstones affect the gallbladder. Kidney stones affect the kidney, okay? And they could be very painful because this bile needs to go out through a tiny tube. And if you've got these precipitated salts, they are like sand, son como arena. So if they go inside a very narrow tube, they could scratch the inside of your tube, and it's a little bit painful. So sometimes what they do, if they see the stones, is they just doctors remove the gallbladder. So your bile will move directly from the liver to the intestine, not being stored. If it's not stored, it's not going to form the stones, so it's not going to be dangerous anymore. That would be another important illness in this digestive system. So going to the end of the presentation, where you've got all these things that go wrong with your digestive system. We mentioned yesterday tooth decay related to the cavities, caries, this esophagitis, gastritis, peptic ulcers, and I taught you that today we had to talk about this celiac disease. Well, the celiac disease, it's a quite common, it's getting more and more common digestive disorder in which your immune system is going to react whenever it finds this protein called gluten in the intestine. So if you eat food containing this gluten, once it arrives in the intestine, your immune system is going to react and you're going to have some consequences. Part of these consequences is that your villi will disappear. Of course, if villi disappears, microvilli forming the walls of the villi will also disappear. So that means that your surface of absorption in the intestine will be reduced from this 600 times probably into 100 or maybe just 20 times. So the surface of absorption in your intestine will be reduced a lot because you're going to lose part of your villi, and any time you lose this one villi, you're losing the microvilli included in it. So you're reducing a lot. If you don't have this surface of absorption, what is the most common consequence? Well, you're doing all the digestion. You're doing the digestion in your mouth, in your stomach, and probably in the intestine itself, you also do the digestion. You've got all these simple nutrients, but those nutrients will move through the small intestine and you will have no structure to absorb them. So what do you do with all those simple nutrients? What are you going to do with those simple nutrients if you don't have the structures to absorb them, Eva?
Excrete them.
You're going to send them out. You're going to defecate them. So what happens if you don't absorb those nutrients but you send them out? That you're not going to have enough matter to grow or enough nutrients that give you energy. So that means that you're going to be tired, that you're going to be thinner, you probably don't grow enough. Those are the symptoms or the signs that we see in people that are probably suffering from this celiac disease. Another consequence could be that once these villi are removed, we know by statistics that is quite common that these people developed a type of cancer in the intestine. So it's dangerous because you're not absorbing nutrients, but it's also dangerous because you could develop a cancer. What is the answer, the treatment that we can give to these patients? The only thing you've got to do is remove this protein from your diet. So as long as you don't eat any gluten in your diet, you're not going to suffer the consequences of this. We've got here that another symptom could be diarrhea. Of course, if you're not absorbing the water, you're going to suffer this diarrhea. So you've got to follow a gluten-free diet. That is the answer that we've got. Well, we've got appendicitis, constipation, and we are going to eliminate this one. ¿Vale?
But Sarah,
Dime.
Which is the origin of gallstones, entonces?
The origin of gallstones is that bile, in any bile, your bile, my bile, any bile, contains salts. Those salts are the reason for the bile to emulsify fats. Thanks to those salts, the bile is able to emulsify fats to do its job. But those salts must be dissolved in bile. If those salts precipitate, then you've got those stones. Why do these salts precipitate? sometimes it's just because the shape of your gallbladder. So it has a special shape that leaves some bile remained there, stored there, so it's going to precipitate, or the position of the gallbladder. But it could also be because you are not doing the metabolism in the liver in the right way, so your bile is too dense, is more dense than it should. So different reasons. What you need to know is that they are formed through the precipitation of the salts. You don't need to know why the salts precipitate, but you do need to know that these stones are due to the precipitation of the salts contained in bile. Vamos a poner salts contained in bile precipitate. Okay? That's the reason. Any other doubt? No doubt. Okay, you've got more disorders here related to the digestive system. We've got hepatitis, gastritis, peptic ulcers affecting the parts of the digestive system. We've already mentioned them, but we've got other disorders due to the intake of nutrients, malnutrition, other eating disorders like anorexia, bulimia. Well, this slide is not compulsory. You only need to study the illness, ojo con eso, you only need to study the illness that you've got in page number 42. Apart from those illness in page number 42, I want you to know this one, celiac disease, because it's very common, and you need to know what is the origin and the treatment, and gallstones that you don't have them in your book. But the rest of them is what you've got in your book, what you've got to study. Dime. Gallstones. Esta. Gallstone, celiac disease, ¿vale? And about esophagitis, that you don't have it in the book, I could ask you what is the organ that is affected, but I told you that yesterday that this is because the beginning of the word is very easy, esophagitis, affecting the esophagus, and it's itis, so you know it's an inflammation due to an infection. So that could be one question, but I'm not going to ask you about the bowel syndrome, que es el que he borrado ahora, and I'm not going to ask you this, malnutrition, anorexia, bulimia, the hernia, esas nada. Healthy habits. Well, let's go with healthy habits, and because this is quite easy and quite obvious, you're going to... esto es de otra, que me ha cogido el mismo chat. You're going to answer the questions for me. So, starting with the mouth. Ángela Cañas, que estás aquí. Ángela, can you name any healthy habits that you do with your mouth? Anything you do related to your mouth that could ensure that you've got a healthy mouth, this part of the digestive system? Ángela.
Wash your teeth, but
okay,
I don't know if you're...
Perfect. Brush your teeth. That is one healthy habit that is related to your mouth. But apart from brushing your teeth every time you eat, so at least 3 times a day, there's another important thing that you could do with your teeth. That is visit. ¿A quién visitas, Ángela?
I don't know.
You don't know? If you must have regular checking up. Apart from brushing your teeth, you need regular checking up of your teeth. ¿Quién te hace las revisiones of your teeth?
The dentist.
The dentist. So you should go and visit your dentist once a year. Okay, that's another important healthy habit. Brush your teeth, including your tongue. Visit the dentist once a year. Another thing could be avoiding which type of food? Cañas o párraga, cualquiera de las dos. Avoiding which type of food? Which type of food is more dangerous for your teeth?
The sugar.
Sugar, okay, those that contain a lot of sugar. So you should have a healthy diet, and in this case, healthy diet means not many sugars. Ángela Parra, apart from not eating a lot of sugar, a lot of candies, okay, apart from that, if I mention healthy as a healthy habit, having a healthy diet, what else could I be referring to? Food with not a lot of sugar, not many candies. What else is part of a healthy diet? ¿Qué más diríamos? Healthy diet. I do have a healthy diet as long as I maintain a regular eating schedule. Perfect. So you have these 5 meals a day. Why is it important that it is regular? Well, when we talk about other systems, like for example the nervous system, we can refer to this regular eating schedule as something that is going to make me have an organized life, which is something important. But in this case, for the digestive system, it's important that you have 5 meals a day and not more, because you must ensure that before putting more food in your stomach, the stomach has finished with the digestion of the previous food that you ingested. So when we refer to this healthy habit, that is a good one, maintain a regular eating schedule, is because we want to finish the digestion of the food before we ingest more food. That would be another healthy habit. What else? Well, apart from maintaining this schedule, 5 meals a day, not a lot of sugar. If we go down there, Hugo, Martin, what else can I do in my healthy diet? Not including a lot of sugars, maintaining this regular schedule. What else could be considered part of a healthy diet? Either microphone or writing down. Hugo, remember short sentences if you're writing down. Okay, having a healthy diet. Thank you very much, Gabriel. But what does it mean? Well or good or healthy diet. Good means that you include what or you don't include what? What is healthy? What is good? That it includes or it doesn't include what? Okay, is balanced. Bueno, aquí quería yo ir. Is balanced. What does it mean that is balanced? That it doesn't contain a lot of lipids. Well, that could be one thing. You must ensure that the amount of lipids is enough, but that is especially going to affect your circulatory system. That is the one that is affected if you are eating a lot of cholesterol, for example. Does it mean that you are eating enough proteins? Well, that is going to affect the way you grow, but it's not really affecting the digestive system. Vale, quiero que os centréis en esto. I'm asking for healthy habits that affect not the whole body, but only the digestive system. So what are those things that are going to affect my digestive system if I do them or if I don't?
Drinking water.
Drinking water, that could be a good thing. Okay, I need to drink enough water because that is going to make my feces, but not only my feces, also my chyme and my chyle having the right consistency. So that's good. I need to avoid alcohol because alcohol could damage my liver. That's good as well. I need to avoid those sugars because they can damage my teeth, okay? But the amount of lipids or the amount of proteins, even though it's important, they affect other systems, not the digestive system. Eating fiber is the one that I was looking for. That's very important, that you eat the amount of fiber that helps your peristaltic movement work in the right way. All along the esophagus, the stomach, the intestine, this fiber is going to help, especially in the intestine, in the last part. So eating fiber, it's an important thing. Fiber is one important component of this healthy diet. So if I ask you in the exam, name one healthy habit, and you include healthy diet, that's not enough. You've got to explain why. So healthy diet with no sugars to help teeth, with enough fiber that helps the peristaltic movements, with enough water to form the right consistency of chyle, with no alcohol that helps the liver. Okay, you've got to explain what are referring to when you say healthy diet. Okay, healthy diet is a good thing, but you've got to explain what, why. Then one thing we can do is brush our teeth, we can visit the dentist, we are going to have a healthy diet, any other thing that is going to help all the organs in my digestive system, any of the organs, either help or maybe not damage.
Avoid smoking.
Avoid smoking. Okay, that could be another healthy habit that is going to be included in any exam from the following units. So avoid smoking is going to be one answer for healthy habits in the digestive system, in the respiratory system, in the circulatory system, even in the reproductive system. So for the rest of the units, avoid smoking could be a common answer for healthy habits. But in this case, two organs are going to be very affected by your smoking. One of them is your mouth and the other one is your stomach, because one of those cancers that is activated by smoking is not only the lung cancer, but also the stomach cancer. Por cierto, I didn't mention the cancer as a possible illness, but of course, it's another illness that you can always mention in every unit. We've got cancer in the tongue, in the gums, in the esophagus, in the stomach, in the intestine. You can mention any type of cancer. Eso no quiere decir que if in the exam I ask you for 3 illnesses related to the digestive system, it's not a good answer to say cancer in the tongue, cancer in the gums, cancer in the esophagus, and you've already finished. No. Cancer is just one example, ¿ok? Que luego me decís esas cosas y me decís, ¿y por qué no vale? Bueno, pues no vale. Ya lo he dicho, lo he dejado grabado. So, there's more healthy habits in your page number 43 that you haven't mentioned. I guess that, dice aquí, exercising regularly, so your blood stream is good enough to give the blood needed for every organ. Fíjate que esto que estás diciendo aquí, that's important, but as long as you remove the last parts, could be considered part of the digestive system because it's going to help the absorption of nutrients, ¿vale? But if you say it's good enough to give the blood needed for every organ, then what is the system that I'm helping? In this case, I'm helping circulatory system, and I'm asking for healthy habits that help the digestive system. So just focus on digestive. Is regular exercise going to help digestive system? Yes, because it also helps peristaltic movements. Seguro que os ha pasado. If when you are spending a long time sitting on a chair, like for example having these classes, virtual classes, if you're spending a long time sitting on the chair, you are going to start feeling that you are constipated, que no es que estás constipado, sino que you find it hard to defecate. That could happen if you don't do enough physical activity. Your peristaltic movement will be diminished as well. So exercising regularly, it's important, but especially because it helps these peristaltic movements in the digestive system. We've got more things, more advices, more healthy habits. Maxim, que no me has dicho nada. Tell me one healthy habit related to digestive system that we didn't mention. You had microphone the day before. Don't you have it today? No. Maxime could be helped by Pablo. Do I have Pablo around? Pablo, Maxime. No. Another boy, another possible boy could be Mario. Mario, could you please help them naming any other healthy habit? Don't smoke, we've already mentioned that one. What is the question, Pablo? Healthy habits for the digestive system, page number 43, that we haven't mentioned. Smoking was already mentioned. Not eating between meals, that was already mentioned as well. Having the right eating schedule. El primero de todo, no lo hemos dicho. Which one? Which is the first one in your book? Well, in your book, in page number 43, you've got eat slowly, perfect, chewing well, and you don't have it there, but you could also add avoiding hot meals, spicy meals. That is going to help as well your digestive system. So eating slowly, chewing food, avoiding very hot or very spicy. Important as well, the one that Pablo mentions that we've got on the right, wash your hands, especially when you're going to eat or when you're going to cook, which is included in a good hygiene, but not only washing your hands, but also keeping your food in the right conditions. So if it says keep it in the fridge, do keep it in the fridge, because you've got to maintain good conditions for your food, good hygiene for your food. And the last one that you've got in your book is be careful when you travel, make sure that you are not doing anything that could be dangerous. Okay, so you've got here in the presentation, chew slowly, brush your teeth, not to eat between meals, don't take foods that are too hot or too spicy, wash your hands, make sure that everything is in perfect conditions, a lot of fibers, do physical activity, avoid alcohol, don't smoke, okay? all those advices are important healthy habits that we've got to include in our normal life in order to maintain our digestive system in perfect conditions. As you can guess, this will be one of these questions in the exam. Okay, so mention, as we've got here, activity number 35, name and explain 4 healthy habits for the digestive system. Well, you just have to name one of those that we've mentioned that you've got in page number 43. And when I say explain, I mean why we do it. So, for example, avoid hot meals because they could damage the mucus in your mouth or in the esophagus. When you say do some sports because they help the peristaltic movement. So you've got to name them and explain them. That is going to be one of those activities that I want you to have in the photocopy. Name 2 digestive disease is activity number 34 that need surgery to be corrected. Well, we can write down this one. For example, Sofía, que la anterior no la sabíamos. Sofía, any idea on one illness in the affecting the digestive system that needs surgery? You're going to be operated if you've got this illness.
¿Lo puedes repetir, por favor, que no te oí?
One illness affecting your digestive system that needs surgery. So you are going to be undergone an operation. It needs surgery. You need an operation. Do you know any illness that needs an operation to be corrected? ¿Se te ocurre así alguna de las que hemos visto?
No sé.
Mira, vuelve a la página 42. If you go to page number 42, you've got cavities, peptic ulcer, gastroenteritis, appendicitis, constipation and hepatitis. ¿Con cuál de esas te meten en un quirófano? ¿Tú crees que con unas caries diríamos que es operation? What you've
¿Dónde
got?
están?
In page number 42.
No.
¿No tienes en la 42? ¿Tú no tienes eso? ¿Sí, no?
Sí,
Tienes
sí.
caries. ¿Te meten en un quirófano por las caries?
No.
No. Peptic ulcer. Tienes una úlcera. The treatment is usually to give you medicines that restore the mucus. Te restauran la mucosa. They give you protection, but you're not going to have an operation for that. Gastroenteritis. Are you going to have an operation if you've got gastroenteritis?
No.
No. Appendicitis?
Sí, no.
Yes. So one answer could be appendicitis. That is one digestive disease that needs surgery to be corrected. It could be appendicitis. Desde luego, constipation, that's not one example. Hepatitis is not. Then what could be another one? Porque te dice 2. Any other illness that requires an operation? ¿Alguien tiene la idea?
Gallstones.
Okay, gallstones could be one. Your gallbladder could be removed, and the other one is the common cancer. Okay, if you've got a cancer in the stomach must be removed. Remember that we say that you can even survive with no stomach. Or if you've got a colon cancer, they remove the part of the cancer, the part of the colon that is affected. Okay, so cancer could be another example. We've got 3. Perfect. Activity number 33 says, why may gastroenteritis result in dehydration? Why could this gastroenteritis end up in dehydration? Well, we go with Rodrigo. ¿Estás por ahí? Rodrigo y Rubén, os dejo a los dos. Venga, a ver quién se pelea. Question number 33. Why may gastroenteritis result in dehydration. Gastroenteritis. Tengo una gastroenteritis y de repente me he deshidratado. Why? No tengo por aquí ninguno. No tengo a Rodrigo, ni tengo a Rubén. Then any other volunteer from those that are active. Ay, Sadia, tampoco me has dicho cosas. De hecho, no te tengo apuntada como que sí. Voy a sacar los participantes otra vez. Sadia, any idea why could this gastroenteritis end up in a dehydration? Venga, que por aquí me dicen. Bueno, pues para decirme eso. I don't know, me dicen por aquí. No idea. Bueno, when you suffer gastroenteritis, Eva?
Your intestine isn't absorbing that much water, so
Okay. Your body knows that there's something wrong in the intestine, so it wants to send it out. If the problem is when the food is in the stomach, you usually vomit. But if the food was already in the intestine, then the only way for your body to send out this dangerous thing is accelerate these peristaltic movements and send these feces out. But if food goes very quickly through this intestine, then you are not going to absorb nutrients and you're not going to absorb water either. So your feces are going to contain a lot of water and a lot of nutrients. If you're sending out this big amount of water, then your body is not restoring the amount of water, so you will probably suffer the dehydration. And apart from that, when you're suffering this gastroenteritis, you don't feel like drinking anymore. So you're not absorbing what you ate and you don't feel like drinking anymore. So that could lead to a more important problem because your cells in your body could feel this lack of water, and that could be a more important problem. Se nos había ido Mónica. Which is the origin of gallstones? That's question number 32, and we said that the origin was the precipitation of salts present in bile. Okay, so having done these activities, we've done all of those related to the digestive system apart from these two. This one, activity number 28, is going to be your homework because it's a little bit long to do it now. It says milk, por cierto, que tenéis puesto en vuestra fotocopia ilk. Bueno, imagine that you eat a chicken sandwich and you drink a glass of milk. What you've got to do in this activity is describe the journey of this meal through your gut, through your digestive system. And you've got to explain which are the enzymes or other substances that are going to be added in each stage. So what you've got to do basically is, first of all, think which nutrients are included in chicken, which nutrients are included in a sandwich, so in bread, and which nutrients are included in milk. And after that, say what is the path that all of them are going to follow and which are the substances that are added in each stage. Así que larguito es el 28, es solo uno, but it's a longer activity. That's going to be your homework and we'll
Sarah,
correct it on Friday and start with respiratory system. Dime.
have we corrected number 22? Because I don't have it corrected.
Number 22. Ah, no, esta no. Es que esta dije que era dificilita. Bueno, la vemos también el próximo día, pero es solo por curiosidad, ¿vale? Esa no va a entrar en examen. La 28 ya os digo que sí que entra, pero seguro. Vale.